Before the factory floor, every Salak begins its journey in the hands of a harvester. The door between preparation and transformation opens only when the temperature is exactly right. The door between preparation and transformation opens only when the temperature is exactly right. The door between preparation and transformation opens only when the temperature is exactly right. Each cluster holds the raw material for weeks of careful drying ahead. Only firm, unbruised fruit survives the first selection. Inside the drying chamber, time and heat do the work that no human hand can rush. Inside the drying chamber, time and heat do the work that no human hand can rush. Rattan baskets have carried this harvest the same way for generations. At 58 degrees, moisture begins its slow departure and will not return. At 58 degrees, moisture begins its slow departure and will not return. The weight of a full harvest is measured in steps, not kilograms. The first moisture to leave is the surface, drawn upward by warm, dry air moving without pause. The first moisture to leave is the surface, drawn upward by warm, dry air moving without pause. The collection point transforms individual effort into collective tonnage. The fan never stops. It is the lung of the drying process, breathing heat across every surface. The fan never stops. It is the lung of the drying process, breathing heat across every surface. Every kilogram here will become a fraction of what survives the drying process. 3 hours in, the fruit is neither what it was nor what it will become. It is mid-transformation. 3 hours in, the fruit is neither what it was nor what it will become. It is mid-transformation. Wooden crates protect the delicate skin through every road ahead. Rotation is the only human intervention the chamber requires. Heat does everything else. Rotation is the only human intervention the chamber requires. Heat does everything else. 6 hours have removed what took weeks to accumulate. The fruit is rewriting itself, molecule by molecule. 6 hours have removed what took weeks to accumulate. The fruit is rewriting itself, molecule by molecule. The harvest leaves the grove. The factory is waiting. The final phase asks more of the heat, and the heat obliges. The final phase asks more of the heat, and the heat obliges. The transformation is complete. What entered as moist fruit leaves as preserved product. The transformation is complete. What entered as moist fruit leaves as preserved product. The road between grove and factory is the first test of every fruit inside. The door opens on something the grove never made. The factory made this. The door opens on something the grove never made. The factory made this. Even in transit, the fruit is still being handled, by every road and every turn. The factory draws everything toward it, fruit, workers, and the day itself. The product that heat created now enters the world of precision. The product that heat created now enters the world of precision. The automated unloader handles in seconds what would take a worker minutes, without touching a single slice. The automated unloader handles in seconds what would take a worker minutes, without touching a single slice. The vision system sees what no human eye could sustain, every slice, every second, without fatigue. The vision system sees what no human eye could sustain, every slice, every second, without fatigue. Past this gate, the fruit no longer belongs to the grove. It belongs to the process. The deflector does not hesitate. It acts on what the camera already decided. The deflector does not hesitate. It acts on what the camera already decided. The receiving bay is where the outdoor journey ends and the indoor one begins. Moisture below 10% means stability. The product will not spoil, shrink further, or change. Moisture below 10% means stability. The product will not spoil, shrink further, or change. Each crate makes the same transfer, from truck bed to factory floor in one continuous motion. From here, the entire automation zone is visible, adjustable, and accountable. The receiving hall absorbs the entire harvest without slowing its pace. The PLC holds the automation zone together, a continuous conversation between every sensor and every machine.
Last one on.
The intake zone holds everything the Grove produced, waiting for what comes next.
Alignment is not cosmetic. It is the preparation for every measurement that follows.
Weight is the last quality gate before packaging, and it closes on anything that does not comply. From the outside, the factory gives nothing away. Only the steam tells you something is happening inside. Everything the automation zone approved is now ready to become a product someone will hold in their hands. At shift change, the factory breathes in its workforce and exhales the previous shift.
Morning. On time today? Yeah, you too.
The packaging hall is where the product meets its final form, the one the customer will see. Hygiene is not a procedure here. It is the first machine every worker passes through. 14 hoppers working in combination achieve what a single scale never could: speed and precision simultaneously. The air curtain marks the threshold between the world outside and the world of the process. Form, fill, seal. 3 actions in one machine, repeating without pause. Every line on this floor has one purpose, and the Salak will pass through all of them. A seal that fails here saves a customer from a product that would have failed them later. The factory floor has its own gravity. Everything moves toward the first machine. Every date printed is a promise, and every batch number is a record that will outlast the product itself.
Check batch 101. Drying time is critical.
Understood. On my way. Every batch has a number before it has a product. Human inspection follows the machine, not because the machine fails, but because the product deserves both. Above every factory floor is a second factory, invisible, carrying heat, air, and pressure to every machine below. The carton gives the pouch its context: brand, weight, origin, and destination in one folded form.
First station ready. Crates arriving.
The case code connects this carton to every record the factory has kept since the Grove. The pallet is the last unit of production. Every layer a record of everything that came before it. Separation is the first act of processing. The cluster becomes individuals. Stretch wrap is the factory's final handshake with its product, securing everything it built into one stable unit. Continue to phase 9? Yes. Initiating quality control procedures. Certification complete. All parameters and tolerance. The brush removes what the Grove left behind: dust, scale fragments, and the last of the field. Waste is managed in the same rhythm as production. Nothing accumulates, nothing waits. One carton in every pallet answers for all the rest. Cold water pulls the invisible clean. What the brush missed, the rinse finds.
The laboratory does not trust the process. It verifies it.
The fruit rises from the water, already beginning to shed what it no longer needs. Thickness tells the drying story. Uniform slices confirm a chamber that held its temperature without deviation. Human eyes still do what no machine does better: reading texture, size, and skin integrity in one glance. 9.2%, the number that separates a product with a 12-month shelf life from one without. Even what is rejected is counted. Waste is data in a well-run factory. Color is not aesthetic here. It is a measurable specification that every batch must meet. The grader speaks only in sizes, and each size will follow its own drying curve. The snap test is the oldest quality test in dry food processing, and still the most honest. 3 sizes, 3 schedules. The factory never treats unlike things alike.
Large bin filling fast. Slow the feed rate slightly.
The completed form is not paperwork. It is the factory's promise, in writing, for every batch it releases. Tagged, graded, and moving, the Salak is ready for what the factory was built to do. The green sticker is the simplest signal in the factory, and the most important.
Continue to phase 5? Yes.
The quarantine zone is not failure. It is the factory being honest with itself. The preparation area is where the fruit stops being raw material and starts becoming product. The warehouse receives what the factory certifies and holds it until the world is ready.
Yes?
Dispatch ready.
Ship it now!
3 cuts, and the skin is ready to surrender, but not yet removed. Beneath the armor of every Salak is a flesh that has never seen light or air, until now.
The warehouse is the factory's memory, everything it has made, held in order, waiting for its moment.
The factory produces 2 streams from the moment peeling begins, product and byproduct.
Every card on this board is a pallet in a rack, and every move on the board is a movement on the floor.
Light reveals what hands cannot feel, and the eye is still the most precise instrument on this floor.
Clear, clear.
The loading dock is where the warehouse ends and the supply chain begins. Each pallet loaded is a calculation: weight, volume, destination, and sequence, all resolved before the first fork lifted. The seal is the last act of the factory. Everything behind it is its responsibility until it is broken. Every pallet in this warehouse began as fruit hanging from a palm in the grove this morning. The gate that opened for the harvest closes behind the product. The journey has reversed direction. The factory does not pause at the end of the day. It only changes shifts.
And this is how modern factories produce dried salak, from start to finish.
Somewhere out there, another harvester is already lifting his machete.